And we start with the IBD 50. And you can see this is weekly on the left and daily on the right. And you can see it's picking up. It had a decent day on Friday. Volume was just okay. But what is the trend? This is something very important. And we teach this at Mission Winners. Ride trends. Just get in them and let them work. Sell some into strength to lessen risk, guarantee profits, and also lessen stress, but then let them work. And you can see this is trended here. It's a little sloppy up here on the daily chart, but the trend is up. There's some clean tops right here. It needs to take this out with volume. What does it tell you? In 1 second, it says, oh, the big IBD 50 stocks, the IBD 50 stocks, which are good leaders, they're acting good. Continue onwards. Technology stocks, working here pretty good. And what does this take? And what has it said for a while? Hey, you might want to look at some technology stocks. That's why we do this. Look at the base right here, and it's leading. Have we been involved with technology stocks? Yeah, it was telling us to. We don't have to forecast. Continue onwards. Now this one, you can see the daily's picking up, but there's a ton of overhead supply here. Not a lot of power there. Be careful with the gold miners. Continue onwards. Gold starts to run up. Plate pulls back here a bit. Gold is a little sloppy. Look for some power there before you get involved with it, okay? I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad, and it had a long base here, but right now it's a little choppy, and choppy can chop you up. Wait for a clean entry. There we go. But there's strength there in the group. Biotechnology, stay away. Do a compare and contrast. You go, well, this doesn't look too bad up here, and it doesn't look too bad here on the daily. You go to this one, you go, it doesn't look so good here, and it doesn't. Here's a great investing maxim, and I taught this at the IBD meetups for years. You want to dramatically improve your investing results? Try to focus on stuff above a rising 50-day moving average line. You want to buy strength, right? You want to see things that are strong. Strength begets strength. Well, this is, hovering around the 50-day, and the 50-day is starting to roll over. Not a lot of power. It says be careful with biotechnology. Continue onward. Oil and gas. Look at the compare and contrast. It's kind of choppy. This is not doing anything at all. And then you go here in oil and gas. So, oh, this is trending nice. Here's a great education too. The green line is the 50-day. The blue line is the 21-day exponential. And the yellow line is the 8-period exponential. And you can see it's trending nicely. Now, I'm not saying buy it up here. It's a little bit extended, but it has been working. And what could it have told you? Back in here, I may be looking at some energy stocks. That's simple. You don't have to forecast. Just get in line with what is. Continue onwards. Software technology, or tech soft, you should say. There's a base right here, but note this. Boy, it's gapping around here. It's whippy. I mean, look at how whippy this is. It goes up, they take it right back down. It goes up, they take it right back down. Drops hard here. It is basing here, and it needs to take the top out through here. And I'll draw this for you to help you. You should take out those tops with some volume. There are some software technology stocks that are doing good. Does this look bad? It's a little choppy. It's trending up. It's trending up on the daily, and it's trending up on the weekly. Software, good. Medicine, now this one's lagging. I mean, it's above the rising 50, but compare and contrast. You can say, well, this one's basing nice. Maybe it's going to start lifting. This is kind of choppy here. It's not as strong. Needs to hold above the rising 50-day right here. It's still trending, but it needs to start to lift again. There you go. For clean, safe entry. Aerospace and defense looks all right. Tells you to look at some aerospace and defense stocks. Good. Biotechnology, home construction, is acting good. Working up. What does it tell you on the weekly and the daily? And it has told you. You might want to look at some building stocks, home construction stocks. There you go. And always, folks, I'd stress, always stuff breaking out of clean and simple bases. Continue on, we're here. S&P 500 growth. This is a nice trend. And yes, we've been involved for a while with it. Here's the weekly. This is why I love weekly and daily. You go, it looks pretty good on the daily. Oh, look at the nice trend on the weekly. And which is why we are and have been involved in a lot of technology stocks and letting them work. It's told us to. We don't have to forecast. Trends pay more than all the decisions you'll make. IWM, it's hanging in on the weekly. It's kind of loose up here, and it's kind of loose on the daily. All right? Needs to show some power. The trend is still up, okay? But you'd like to get a cleaner base entry, okay? But it is telling you small caps aren't a bad place to be. There you go. Real estate. Now this is no power here. Look at how this is trending up here. on the weekly and the daily, and then you go to this one and you say, it's just kind of sloppy. You know what? I agree with you. What does it say? Be careful with real estate stocks. Done. Transportation's hanging in there. That's not a bad spot through here, but there was a tail bar on Friday. Take out these tops. But does it tell us in a bigger picture on a weekly? Yeah, there's strength in transportation. That helps us. Looking at some transport stocks. Airlines are hanging in here. There's a good base right across here, and you can see it right here too. I'll draw this for you to help you. There you go. Kind of a cup with a handle. One risk, it's a V-shaped cup. All right, you'd like it to be more of a rounded cup, but it looks decent. Let's analyze further. At Mission Winners, we look at price and we look at volume. Fell on heavy volume, has rallied up. Not a lot of volume power there. Just be a little careful with that, okay? Something to take into consideration. Continue onwards. Mid caps hanging in, trending nicely. You could buy some, and we have, you own some mid cap stocks. Very good. Oil, energy services, OIH, is picking up on the weekly, right here, picking up on the daily. It says, and it has said, maybe look into some energy stocks. There we go. By the way, it's a great tactic we teach in Mission Winners. You can punch up OIH. Just look for the top 10 holdings or the top 5 holdings in OIH. Look at the charts and see if you can find something. There you go. Systematized. Love it. Pharmaceuticals, just kind of basing here. Really needs to take out these tops. Till it does, I just kind of lay low. Also, there's some serious selling volume on that bar. And you see that right there? Look at where it closed down on the day. It says be careful with pharmaceuticals. Here we go. QLD, NASDAQ 100's hanging in okay. What does this one tell you? And what has it told you? Hey, maybe get involved or be involved with some NASDAQ 100 stocks. Big stocks. You know what I think of? I think MAXLIST stocks. I love them. If I could only do one thing, it would be MAXLIST stocks. And you'll see another video after this one, and you know which one has been gold for us, is NVDA. And it was on the key list before it broke out. There you go. So NASDAQ 100 stocks don't look too bad. Growth technology. Same thing's true with the non-leveraged one, QQQ, hanging in up there. All right. Retail's hanging in, doesn't look too bad. Silver ran up here. A little sloppy up here, though. You can see it's whipping around. Looks good on the weekly, looks decent on the daily. It just says be a little careful with silver. There you go. And silver stocks. Steel's hanging in okay, but you can see on the weekly, gosh, it goes up. They take it right back down. Goes up, quiet. They take it right back down. There's a seller up there. All right. It needs to push through there. Also, you can see this. It's pretty thin and whippy on the daily on steel. All right. Also, I will tell you, the volume on this bar is 7,800 shares. The volume on this bar is 16,700 shares. On Friday, it did 3,700 shares. It's thin. It doesn't do a lot of volume, which makes it more prone. This is a great maxim for everybody. When you see a stock that's really thin, it can be far more prone to gaps. It's like, oh, this is going. Oh, gosh, man, that hurts. Oh, this looks all right. Oh, golly. Oh, it's starting to break out here. Dang it. Be careful with that. Just wanted to share that with you. SMH has formed a small base here. Maybe it'll start to lift again. It has been trending for a while. What is this? Semiconductors, technology related. Are we involved with technology? Yes. Have we been involved with technology for a while? Yes. There you go. And it's trending. Not a real clean spot right here, but you look at the trend, you can say, oh, that's nice. This is for everybody. Trends will pay more and pay more than all the decisions you'll make. Ride trends. It makes it easier. There's no clean entry right now, okay? And that was an ugly tail bar there on semiconductors, but the trend is still up. Just got to wait for a better entry to get into it or add to it. Spiders hanging in, trending nicely. Look at the weekly. Isn't that nice? We should let it work. Same thing's true on the daily. This is why I love you look at this and go, yeah, that looks pretty good. And then you look at this and it gives you further confirmation to say, oh, that's something to be involved with. S&P 500. I think S&P 500. I think big stocks. I think big stocks. I think big stocks growth. You know what I think of there? MAXLIST. There we go. And yeah, we're making a video on that today too. SSO leveraged one, trending nicely. Good to see. The trend is up. Solar. Look at the compare and contrast. Oh, there's SSO just kind of walking up the line. Here's solar. There's nothing here. And what has it said for a long time? Stay away from me. Okay, stay away. That's why we do this. And that's why also we teach this, is to help you what to look for. It's choppy. The trend is down. Leave it alone. Continue onwards. Small cap, it's a little choppy too, okay? Be careful with that. Oil, US oil, it's okay. It's okay, not great. It is trending up, okay? Consumer discretionary lifts up. They start to take it back down again. It's a little choppy up there, but the trend is still up. It says maybe look at his consumer stocks. Okay. Aerospace and defense is hanging in all right, but it did sell down on pretty heavy volume here. Can you see that volume on there? We combine price and volume analysis. And you can just look at it and say, oh, it's doing okay. Oh, they sold it pretty hard. Got to be careful. There you go. And you just act to it, react to it. No forecasting, just simply react to the stimulus you see. Another biotechnology ETF, kind of choppy here. Be careful with biotechnology. Home builders, trending nicely. Let me think here. What influences home building? Oh, that's right. Interest rates. What's Powell and everybody doing? What are they talking about? Interest rates. They're easing on interest rates. They're not pushing them up. They're backing down a bit. Isn't that nice to see? And home building stocks, direct correlation to interest rates. And it's acting fine. I'm not saying buy it up here, okay? But it's been trending nice. Connecting the dots. Materials. How do you build homes? You need materials. Look at this trend on the weekly on home builders. Look at this trend weekly on materials. Yeah, you need materials to build houses. There it is. That's connecting the dots. Now, is there anything to do with it now? No, it's a little extended. Be careful with that. All right. XLC communications trending up nicely, a little sloppy up here, a little choppy back and forth. But again, look at the trend. This is the beautiful part. And again, we teach this at Mission Winners. You look at the daily, you go, kind of whipping around, kind of whipping around. Then you look at the weekly and say, yeah, but that's a nice trend right there. There you go. Trends pay more than all the decisions you will make. I'm not kidding. Ride them, and never argue with them. If it starts to fall, don't argue with it. Okay. Get in line with price action. It'll make your life easier. Okay. Energy still trending nicely. That's nice to see. Be involved with energy. Financials is still hanging in there. A little bit of selling came into it, but it's had a good move. Okay. Here's another great investing maxim. There's a real high correlation between what the financial stocks do and what the market does. Financial stocks get hit, it normally has a negative impact on the markets, okay? But it's trending nicely now, so everything's fine. There we go. XLI Industrials is hanging in there. Look at you see on the daily, and then you look at the weekly and go, oh yeah, that's some decent move there. There we go. Is there anything to do with it now? No, but this is why we do this, to help people see what to look for. We're about down. Technology's hanging in. Okay, it's a little sloppy and choppy up here, but there's clean tops across here, and I'll draw this for you to help you. Here you go. Take out those tops. Take those tops out with real volume. But note, there's a tail bar here, there's a tail bar here, there's a tail bar here, and there's a tail bar here. There's sellers up there. Needs to take out those tops on technology. There you go. Consumer staples is hanging in nicely. Nice trend. That's good to see. I'll move through here. Healthcare's hanging in. All right. It's okay. Not a powerful right now. Consumer discretionary hanging in okay. It's all right. Gap down a little bit on Friday. Metals and mining, not a lot of leadership there, is there? I mean, it's kind of chopping around here. And what has it said for a while? Be careful with metals and mining. Oil and gas, another oil and gas ETF. Look at the trend on the weekly and look at the trend on the daily. It's told you a while ago. Look at the volume pickup on that bar right there. Right there. Isn't that neat? I'll draw something for you. This is what I like. It's clean and simple vanilla stuff. It doesn't need to be fancy, folks. That's close enough. Going sideways and lifted off on good volume. Came back and tested you and then followed right back up. Volume was just so-so, and then it settled down, and then it started to trend. There you go. Let it work. I'm not saying buy it up here, though. Okay, just want to clear. Retailing. What does this tell us? Hey, the consumer's in there. That's nice to see. Trending. Is there anything to really do with it now? It's extended here. Be nice if it could form a little high handle up here and take off. But retailing says it's okay. The charts tell you, weekly and daily, it's okay. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Here we go. Software services. This one trades thin. This is lesson one. This stock does average volume of around 10,000, 12,000 shares a day. It's thin. Thin stocks that don't do, in other words, stocks that don't do a lot of volume are much more prone to whippy action because it doesn't take much selling. It doesn't take much selling to drive it up, and it doesn't take much selling to drive that sucker down. So be careful with that. There's a good lesson. Now it's basing here, and it's trended for a while. What does it tell you? Even if you don't own this, it says, well, software hasn't been a bad place to be. There we go. There's power for us. The MAXLIST stocks, big name tech stocks. This is a list that I put together many years ago with very few modifications in it or changes. Big money flows into these stocks. Now look at Amazon. It ran up here and it got a little sloppy up here, but it had a decent trend for us a while ago. Now it's just a little choppier, and we'll watch it and see if we can find an entry. But the trend is up. The trend is up. Now, note, you've got a tail bar here, tail bar here, tail bar here, and a tail bar here. Reversal bars, goes up and drops. So it's a little sloppy here. It would be nice if this could base for a little bit and then take off. By the way, am I prepared at Mission Winners? Oh yeah, look, I've already got a limit alert set on it, folks. It's still a little green hash mark. I put that in. That was on yesterday. Okay, so we're prepared. Nothing to do with it now. Just watch and see. Continue onwards. Alibaba. Look at the compare and contrast. You said, oh, this was trending pretty good here on the weekly and the daily. Look at this. This is nothing. Leave it alone. Oh, maybe it's going to bounce. I don't want to play that maybe forecasting game. Focus on strength. And if it ain't there, it's not there. That's simple. Move on. Nothing to do with it. BIDU sister stock. Nothing. Leave it alone. I mean, one glance at the weekly says, I'm not going to touch this. You're not going to see this setup in any book saying, well, this is what you look for to buy. You won't. Continue onwards. Here we go. Google. Now, this is weekly on the left, all right, and daily on the right. What are you starting to see here? Well, it looks like it's starting to form a cup with a handle, forming a handle here. Now, this is a great lesson for everybody, okay? And again, I taught this for years at the meetups at IBD. Just because it's a green bar doesn't mean it's a good bar. Just because it's a red bar doesn't mean it's a bad bar. But look at this green bar. Oh, it's a green bar and good volume. That's good. Look at where it opened. It gaps up, it runs up, and closes below where it opens on a pickup in volume. It was met with selling, okay? Sellers. Now it's just chopping around here a little bit, but it is starting to pick up just a little bit. So what would we like to see? Well, I'll show you something here, and I'll draw this for you to help you. That's the weekly chart. Here is the daily chart. Perhaps it will form a handle here and take off. But it's going to need a good market, it's going to need good price action, and it's going to need good volume action, all right? And there is one risk here. I need to share this with you, a couple of risks, actually. That's a big gap down on volume, folks. You think there are people that bought this up here and this big gap down and they weren't able to sell? Oh, yeah, I guarantee it. There's people that got stuck. Now it's rallying back up. Charts are a reflection of human emotions. Picture this. You bought this up here, and then it gaps down. You go, oh my gosh, I'm getting killed. It starts to go up, and then it falls again, and you go, this is awful. I'm losing sleep over this thing. And then it rallies up, okay? You go, oh, maybe I'm going to be okay. And then look at this bar. It gaps up. It runs up right near where you bought it, right up here where people bought it, and it dropped down hard. Who do you think was selling? Think about it. Charts are a reflection of human psychology, folks. Who was selling up there? People who bought it here that got stuck and it came back near their price. People who bought it down here and watched it rally up near hold highs and said, I'm taking the game. And look what it does. It gaps up, runs up, comes close, and reverses down on a pickup in volume. Here's an important lesson for everybody. Charts are a reflection. They're studies of group psychology, folks. It really is. Rallies right back up. They take it down, reverse it down. Now it's forming a handle here. Hopefully, through this action here, we're getting rid of more sellers, okay? So what would we like to see? Take out this downward sloping trend line with really heavy volume. That could be a potential buy, but it is not a perfect pattern, okay? And this is another concern on the weekly. That's a big gap up right here on the daily. There's air there. There's people, there's people up here that got stuck with it, okay? And then it gaps up. You think there's people that bought it here? Yes, I know they did. Why? Because it went up there in price. It's not fancy. So we've got to watch this and see what happens. There is a downward sloping trend line, but there's some risk with it. What does it need? It needs to take out this line with really heavy volume and a good market. I know I went a little bit longer here, but this is what we teach in Mission Winners, what to look for. And folks, what I just shared with you, there's nothing fancy in that. It is just like 2 + 2 = 4. Oh yeah, it doesn't equal 5. That doesn't make sense. This makes sense, but it needs to push through here with volume. Okay? Remember that. And always control risk. Let's continue onward, shall we? Goldman Sachs lifted off on earnings. Was just chopping around and boom, off it goes. Now here's another good lesson. If you were going to buy it, you want to buy it in here. You don't want to buy it up here, and you don't want to chase price and buy it up here. People bought that up there, runs up, reverses down, and you go, oh man, darn it, look at this. So it needs to settle down before we have an entry on Goldman Sachs. That's simple. Continue onwards, and that could happen in several days. Intel, what's the trend? Down, leave it alone. We don't need to think about it anymore. There's nothing there. Continue onwards. MasterCard starts to lift up, and they bring it right back down. Here's a good lesson for everybody. Higher price listed stocks can be a little more tenuous, choppy in their actions. It's lifted up, pulled back. Not a lot to do with it now. Just wait. That's all we can do. Continue onwards. Meta, this is the weekly chart. We own this down here and here and here and here. Trending. Trends pay more than all the decisions you'll make. Even right here. Buys here, and they're working. I mean, first buy down here, we'll call it 320, okay? 330, I'll give you 330. 330 to 510 for doing nothing? There you go. You just let it work. And we're in good shape. We've sold some in its strength. We're in good shape, but it's doing something nice here, folks. It's based, oh, by the way, yes, this is a MAXLIST stock, right? It's basing, again, what do we want to see? Form a little handle right here, and then take off, and that could be a new buy or an add-on. There you go. Watch it. Just watch and see what happens. By the way, am I prepared? I already have price alerts set on it, folks. There's the upper alert. Why do I have a down alert or a lower alert on it? Because it's owned down lower too, and I want to be aware of it. Let your computer be your eyes also. It will really help you. I'll continue onwards here. Microsoft, I like it gapped up, or lifted up, reversed down, then gaps down, chopping around here, starting to pick up. MAXLIST stock. If this could base a couple more days and take out these tops here, that could be a buy. Oh, yeah, are we prepared? Look, I already got the price alert set. You see that? There we go. Continue onwards. I'm not saying buy it now. Well, it's Saturday, but wait for a little base to form here. Look for a good market, push through, good price, backed by volume. Volume's the power that lifts the ship. Netflix, we're in. I'd like to see this base here. You see I got a price alert set. I'd like to see this lift off again, but you can see it's been trending nicely on Netflix. NVDA, here's the weekly chart. I'm going to make this bigger for you. See that long weekly base? I made videos on this before it broke out, citing this. I really like this base. Now, I didn't know I was going to do this, okay? But here's a beautiful spot. Good entry and riding trends pays. Look at that trend. Look at the trend on the daily. This stock, folks, I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to zoom in. It broke out here. I'm going to make this bigger for you. If you look closely, this stock has not closed below the rising 21-day exponential moving average since we bought it. That's the blue line, by the way. There you go. Here's the dailies. You can see that. Look at that base. It's just fun. Love it. So what do we have? We're in good shape. Is there anything to do with it? Well, let's go back here and make this a little bigger again. I would love this. I'm not saying it's going to, but I would love this to just maybe form a small base right here and then take off again. Form a handle. Couple with a handle right here. That could be a buy. I'm not saying it's going to happen, okay? We don't forecast, but we'll watch it and see. We've got alerts set. We'll just watch and see what happens. Is there an edge in buying up here? It's a big momentum stock. Once it gets ahead of steam, it can run. If it starts to take out the highs here in a good market with good volume, that would be an aggressive buy. But it could be a buy, but go small, because it is an aggressive buy, an aggressive setup. Tesla, nothing there. Here's the weekly daily. There's nothing there. Nothing to do with it. Leave it alone. We haven't been in this in a while. Visa starts to run up. I got to fix this. Hold on just a second. We're missing a bar here. There we go. And here's a great lesson for everybody. It breaks out and it runs up. Is there any real power in this chart? No, look at the volume dropping off. Volume is the fuel that lifts the ship off the pad. And you want to see volume, power continue as it's lifting up. And it goes up on, it goes up here, decent volume. Goes up on less volume. Goes up on even less volume. Look. And then, boom, there you go. That is a valuable lesson. Watch price and volume. And here's the beautiful thing, folks. There's nothing fancy about this. It's simple. It's going up. Each day it goes up, but there's less power. Be careful.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We come up with new content nearly every day. Also, check out the videos on the right. YouTube recommends the one on the top, and the bottom one is something we thought you might enjoy. See you next time.